Hello everyone. Today I am going to explain the movie Morning Grave. The movie begins with a scene in a metro where the main character of the story, Insoo, a young college student, is talking with his mother on the phone. He is returning to his home after school. He tells his mother that he is good and if he faces the same problem again, he will go and stay with his uncle. In the metro, some of his school friends make fun of him, telling him that he is rumored to see ghosts. When his friends are bullying him, he notices a girl ghost inside the metro. He is very disturbed to see such vision. After he step out of the metro, he walks to his room. The incident scares him and he decides to get back to his hometown to see his uncle Sunli. He calls his uncle and tells him that he is coming to stay with him. He also asked him if he heard about Young. Soonly then he replies that the story is very old. Afterwards, we see Insoo returning to his hometown where he notices a beautiful schoolgirl named Rose. She is very cute and attractive, but Insoo is seen ignoring her. Meets his uncle Soon Lee, who has the same ability as him to see the ghost. Soon Lee tells him that he wants to stay away from all this. He asks Insoo if the locket given to him by his great grandfather still helps him. In fact, it's the locket which was shown in the beginning of the movie in the metro. The speciality of the locket is that it spins whenever any spirit or ghost is around. Insoo admitted to his childhood school despite admitting to his old school. Insoo's situation gets worse as there is a bully gang in this school who seems to hate him. They seem to bully the kids who are weak and Insoo is one of them. A girl named Hyunji seems to be interested in him, which annoys her boyfriend Haejul. Suddenly Insoo feels the presence of a ghost spirit around the classroom and notices a girl ghost wearing a mask outside. One day Insoo gets beaten by Haejul as he does not want Insoo to talk with any girl present in the school. He threatens him, telling if he could still remember the case of a Young. Insoo is back to his old school where Haechul, Insoo and a Young used to read together. Haechul also orders Insoo to stay away from Hyunji. The scene then shifts to a female student who appears to be the member of the bully gang in the school. She reaches her room after school and notices a polythene bag hanging on the entrance. The girl gets curious and approaches the polythene to open it. The polythene is found to be filled with blood, which gets splashed all over the head of the girl. She gets really scared and tries to call her friends, but none of her friends can hear what she is saying. She is haunted by the masked girl who Insoo saw earlier in the classroom. In the next scene, we see Insoo sitting with the same girl which he noticed earlier, Rose. She is also a ghost spirit whom only Insoo can see. She suggests Insoo to fight back with Haechul as he always keeps on hurting somebody without any reason. Suddenly wind starts to blow and Rose tells Insoo that the masked girl is near them and runs away from there. The masked girl takes Hyunji's friend to a storeroom and ties her hand and legs. She is then killed by the ghost of the masked girl. One day, Insoo and Rose are working together when Insoo tells Rose about a Young. A Young was a classmate of Insoo from his childhood, who was found dead. One day, as in Insoo could see the ghost spirit. A Young spirit also appeared in front of Insoo and asked him to tell everyone who murdered her. She also pointed out the murder, but Insoo could not tell anything to anyone. He in fact decided to stay silent and move away from the place. He mentions to Rose that he is back because he feels that Young is still waiting for him. He reaches Ah Young's house and meets her father. Ah Young's father expresses his happiness for Insoo remembering him. Just then, Insoo notices a young spirit nearby who waves her hand to say goodbye to him. Insoo is a bit relaxed to witness all this. After that, Rose and Insoo set out to roam around the place. They seem happy to be with each other. Insoo teaches her how to warm her hands. They start to get along very well even though Rose is a spirit. The next day at school, Hyunji is slapping a boy without any reason in front of the classroom. A fed up Insoo intervenes between them and asks Yeonji to stop bullying him for no reason. Haechul gets up to beat Insoo but stopped by Hyunji. At night, when Insoo is drawing a sketch of Rose, he is teased by Rose changing her places. Insoo feels her presence but is unable to locate her, then starts changing his clothes and Rose is looking at him hiding inside the cupboard. Some time later, Insoo is watching the news with his uncle where a solved murder case is shown. It is mentioned that the murderer is caught after 10 long years and he appears to be wearing a mask. Seeing the mask, Insoo remembers the masked girl ghost which he noticed in the school. One of the ghosts staying with them tells them the name of the masked girl to be Hae-sun Lee. Tries to ask her about the grudge of the masked girl, but she just keeps on telling her name in the school. Two of the members, a boy and a girl of the bully gang, are seen at night. They are there to get back the girl's cell phone, which was seized by one of the teachers. Earlier after that, they enter a classroom and start playing with each other. In the meantime, the girl rushes to the washroom and the boy is left alone in the classroom. He lies on one of the benches, waiting for her to return. But when he opens his eye, he is knocked down by the masked ghost girl. The girl who is inside the washroom hears the thumping sound and shouts at him not to do so. After she gets out of the washroom, she checks the other spaces and runs outside as if she has seen something frightening. Afraid, she walks into the classroom but finds no one inside it. When she tries to get out, the dead body of the boy is placed in front of her. She freaks out and attempts to call her friend, but the masked girl appears in front of her and confesses that she is Sehi. In the next scene, Insoo tries to collect the information about Sehi. In the school, he asks everyone in the classroom, but nobody dares to speak about Sehi despite knowing about her. As they are scared of the bullying gang, a girl tries to speak, but she is signaled by Hyunji to not to do so. When Rose and Insoo are enjoying their time together at a riverside, Insoo gets a message from the same girl who tried to give him some information about Sehi at school. In the message, she has sent the photo of Sehi and a message which indicates that she should not be asked anything about Sehi further on inquiring about Sehi. With Rose, she tells him that nobody was seen curious of Sehi's death, as everybody knew how she died, knowing that Hyunji, along with other bully gang, killed Sehi. A furious Insoo attacks Haechul from the back but gets beaten instead. He tells them that they had killed Sehi, which makes Hyunji silent and numb. Haechul keeps on beating him, and Insoo mentions that Sehi is not going to leave her. He suggests that they expose what they had done wrong with Sehi to everyone after hearing the words from Insoo. Hyunji starts to get worried, shows Haechul the image of Sehi's father and calls out the incident of her missing friends. They conclude that it's Sehi's father who is killing everyone for the sake of his daughter. Then they decide to kill Sehi's father and reach her home. Hyunji insists on calling Insoo at the house, but Haechul refuses and gets angry at Hyunji. After Haechul enters Sehi's house, Hyunji messages Insoo that they are about to enter the house. Insoo gets the message and informs his uncle about the situation. He decides to go to Sehi's house and help them. Insoo's uncle provides him with the locket and gets him go. When Haechul and Hyunji enter the house, they hear some thumping sound coming from a box. They are very scared to hear that, and Haechul starts throwing his hand around, while Hyunji notices some fleshy images of Sehi after seeing the ghost of Sehi. They realize that is the ghost who is behind all the murders. Soon, Sehi's father comes out from the box and attacks Haechul. He attacks Haechul multiple times until he dies. Insoo reaches there but cannot locate them as Hyunji screams in fear. Sehi's father approaches her. She apologizes for what she did with Sehi, but her father attacks her and kills her as well. Hearing Hyunji's last scream, Insoo follows it and
As he is about to enter the place, Sei's father comes out from there. Insoo then enters to see all his classmates, the bully gang, dead on the floor. After that, Insoo notices a box half open. He approaches the box and opens it to find a girl wearing a mask, who is Sehi. After removing the mask, he is surprised to see that the girl is none other than the one who he loves to spend time with, Rose. The scene then switches to some flashback where Sehi complains to the head teacher about Hyunjoo's bullying nature. Hyunjoo gets insulted by the head teacher and gets angry. Enraged, Hyunjoo enters the classroom and checks Sei's notebooks to match her handwriting with the complaint letter. She figures out that it is Sei who complained against her. After that, Hyunjae and her group start to bully Sei very badly. They start beating her, pulling her hair, and also make her wear a mask so that she could never speak again. They even set her hair on fire. When asked by the teacher, the girl said that she could not take off the mask, which stunned the teacher as she could not believe. It ultimately turned out to be tragedy. All the other students inside the classroom seem to ignore whatever is happening with Sei. They seem to enjoy themselves, as if Sei does not exist around them. Sei gets fed up from the bullying and cries at home. Her dad asks her to complain about them to the teacher. However, Sei responds that the teacher seems to get annoyed by the complaint and takes no action against them. Later, Sei hangs herself. On searching further, Insoo finds a diary where all the names of the victims are written and are crossed out except one, which is their head teacher. Insoo calls his uncle and asks him to reach Sei's house and perform the funeral rite as he knows. Insoo then heads towards the school to save the head teacher. In the next scene, we see the head teacher working on the computer when she sees Sei's ghost on the screen. After that, all the students get a message to be present at the library. Insoo also reaches the library and asks everyone about the teacher, but no one seems to have seen her. Soon the lights of the library go out and Sei appears in front of them. In the teacher's face, she throws the box of gasoline. Towards this student, Sei comes to her real avatar and tells everyone that they had ignored her earlier when she was being bullied. Hence, all of them deserve to die. Insoo tries to stop her, but Sei lights up the lighter and throws it to the floor. However, Rose, the alter ego of Sei, comes to the rescue and catches the lighter before it can touch the gasoline. Here, Sei seems to be the bold and deadly character, whereas Rose seems to be the kind-hearted and innocent part. Sei tells Rose if she has forgotten how she was bullied and tortured. She mentions that she is no longer weak. Sei then removes Rose from there and possesses the teacher's body. She starts to break everything around with her spiritual power and scares everyone. Insoo, on the other hand, starts checking the locket to everyone who could be possessed by Rose. When he finds the locket spinning to a girl, he asks her to stop all this and hands her a notebook. The scene again shifts to the flashback, where we are shown that Insoo and Sei were childhood friends. She once saved Insoo from getting bullied by them. They seemed to be in love in their childhood. As Insoo had drawn Sei's picture in his notebook, Insoo apologized with the spirit of Rose because he could not recognize her childhood friend. Rose hands over the lighter to Insoo but is stopped by evil Sei. At this moment, Hikari completes the ritual of freeing the spirit, which makes the knife kept in Insoo's pocket to shine. Rose takes out the knife and stabs herself, after which we are shown the beautiful flashback memories of Insoo and Rose. In the last scene, we can see all the students mourning near Sei's grave. Later, we see Insoo has come back to his own school as a teacher. He notices a spirit sitting at the last bench of his school. He inquires about who sits in the last bench, and class responds that a girl used to sit there who has changed her school recently. The spirit approaches Insoo and the movie ends. Please subscribe for more and hit the like button to help us out. Also leave a comment if you want us to explain your favorite movie. Until then, take care.